The whispering red dust. The crimson dust of Xylos swirled around Anya's boots, a constant and unsettling reminder of the planet's hostility. Her enhanced vision cut through the particulate matter, focusing on the skeletal remains of what had once been a bustling research facility centuries ago. Now, it was nothing more than another graveyard consumed by the encroaching desert. But Anya was not here for archaeology, she was here for the whispers. They had begun subtly, a spark of unease in the neural network she shared with her biomechanical suit. Then they grew louder, a chorus of fractured thoughts echoing through the fabric of her existence. Fear. Raw, unfiltered, human fear. The kind that made her skin crawl, quickened her pulse, and turned her stomach to ice. The kind she had not experienced in decades as a biologically enhanced agent of the Stellar Concord. Her title was Warden, an ironic designation for someone tasked with neutralizing threats, not protecting them. Her augmentations, enhanced strength, speed, and cognitive abilities, melded with the interwoven technological network of her suit, were designed to suppress emotion, placing logic above all else. Yet here, on this desolate rock, she was drowning in the remnants of something she thought she had left behind. She gripped her plasma rifle tighter, its familiar weight a reassuring counterpoint to the disquieting symphony within her. The Concord believed the facility to be abandoned, but Anya knew better. The neural network, usually a fortress of data and analysis, had become a porous vessel, absorbing echoes of the past. And those echoes were screaming, the origins of fear. Navigating the collapsed corridors, her steps crunched over shattered plasteel and fossilized bone. The air grew heavier as she descended into the depths of the complex. The whispers intensified. They're watching. They're always watching. The experiments. They couldn't be stopped. We're not safe. We'll never be safe. Anya accessed the shattered database of the facility, the data streams flickering across her HUD like dying fireflies. The project's codename was Chimera, and its purpose, once veiled in bureaucratic obscurity, was now painfully clear: human experimentation. In its relentless pursuit of progress, the Concord had pushed the boundaries of ethics and morality, attempting to perfect the human form, to elevate it beyond its natural limits. But they had not accounted for the unforeseen consequences. She discovered a containment chamber, its thick, reinforced glass cracked and weathered with age. Inside, something floated in a murky liquid. It was humanoid, yet distorted, a patchwork of flesh and metal, its limbs twisted at impossible angles. Its face was featureless, a smooth, blank surface, with two metallic orbs where eyes should have been, glowing faintly with an inner light. The whispers rose into a cacophony of terror. They took our minds. We became this. Help us. Please, help us. A mirror of humanity. Anya staggered. The fear was no longer just an echo, it was an infection, a virus gnawing at the core of her being. She felt her enhanced heart racing, her breathing shallow, her normally unshakable logic blurring at the edges. This was not just the fear of those who had suffered here. This was their fear, somehow imprinted on their altered physiology, now resonating with her own. Then, she understood the true horror of Project Chimera. They had not just altered bodies, they had magnified fear itself, trapping it within their monstrous creations. And somehow, she was a conduit, an antenna drawing it in. The creature in the tank moved, its metallic eyes locking onto her. A silent scream pierced her mind, not a sound, but a cry of pure, unadulterated terror. It was a primal fear, the kind born from the dread of irreversible change, of losing oneself entirely. The fear of becoming other, a grotesque parody of humanity. Anya stumbled, her hand instinctively reaching for the laser pistol at her hip. But with devastating clarity, she knew she couldn't kill it. This was not just a failed experiment, it was a monument to human hubris, living proof of the darkness hidden within their most ambitious endeavors. This was not an enemy to be destroyed, it was a mirror reflecting something deeply unsettling about her own kind: the depths of the complex. Steeling herself, Anya ventured further into the facility. The whispers grew louder, guiding her to a massive door at the end of a long, crumbling corridor. The door bore the Stellar Concord's old insignia, along with a haunting inscription: "Here lies the gateway to the future." Inside, Anya discovered rows of glass chambers, each containing twisted, half-human, half-machine beings. Some were still alive, their eyes hollow, their bodies a grotesque blend of organic tissue and cold metal. These were not just physical deformities, they were lost souls, stripped of their humanity. Her suit's neural interface attempted to analyze their consciousness, but the results were chaotic. Their mental data was so fractured and incomprehensible that it defied comparison to any human mind. For a moment, Anya wondered if they still had any semblance of humanity left, or if they were merely echoes of the people they once were. Elias Vorn's revelation. One chamber caught her attention. Inside, a being floated, its metallic orbs staring lifelessly. Through the neural connection, Anya received fragments of its thoughts. They didn't listen. We warned them. But they silenced us. The being was not just a test subject, it had once been Dr. Elias Vorn, one of the lead researchers of Project Chimera. Forced into his own experiment, Elias had become a victim of the very progress he sought to control. His fragmented consciousness revealed the chilling truth. Fear, they enhanced it. They made us into this. The warden's choice. Anya knew she couldn't leave the facility as it was. If the Concord rediscovered this place, they would continue the experiments, creating more abominations like Elias. Yet destroying everything would erase the evidence, allowing humanity to forget its mistakes. She made a compromise. She purged most of the facility's data but left behind an encrypted archive that could only be accessed by those truly seeking to understand the cost of progress. As for Elias, Anya transferred his consciousness into the facility's core systems, freeing him from his physical prison. Elias, now a living repository of the project's history, would serve as a silent warning to future generations. A new purpose. As Anya left the facility, the crimson dust of Xylos swirling around her, she felt a profound shift within herself. She had faced fear, not by suppressing it, but by understanding it. Fear was not a weakness, it was a reminder of humanity's boundaries. She was still a warden, but her role had evolved. She was no longer just a protector of Concord's interests but a guardian of humanity's mistakes, a keeper of its potential for both brilliance and horror. As she gazed into the infinite darkness of space, one thought lingered in her mind. Progress may be inevitable, but the cost is always steep. And it is a cost we must never forget. Let me know if you'd like even more additions or refinements.